Boeing is being hit with its first worker strike in 16 years. Roughly 33,000 union workers have walked off the job, bringing airplane production to a virtual standstill.
Boeing is collapsing from within. After a nationwide strike by over 33,000 workers and a looming 17,000 job cut, the company, once the pride of American industry, is being forced into desperate survival mode. And according to insiders, Donald Trump's reckless tariffs pushed it over the edge. Meant to protect U.S. manufacturing, Trump's trade war backfired spectacularly, isolating Boeing from international buyers, raising production costs, and cornering its leadership into a brutal choice: shrink drastically or flee America. Entire towns, from Everett to Charleston, now face mass layoffs, shuttered production lines, and economic freefall. And this may just be the first domino. Trump promised to bring jobs home. Instead, he lit the fuse on a manufacturing exodus. If you care about American jobs, industry, and the truth behind the headlines, subscribe now. Because in this countdown, we reveal the shocking twist at number 3 that no mainstream network dares to say out loud. Is this economic nationalism or strategic suicide? Number 5. Boeing's exit, a national security nightmare. This isn't just about money or jobs anymore. Boeing's collapse has become a threat to national security. With over $23 billion annually in defense contracts, Boeing is deeply embedded in U.S. military systems, from fighter jets to satellite networks. But now, with its production lines crumbling and thousands of skilled American workers furloughed or laid off, the Pentagon is on high alert. And here's where the twist hits. Sources inside the Department of Defense are extremely concerned that Boeing will be forced to shift not just commercial, but military-adjacent manufacturing abroad, opening the door to IP theft, foreign surveillance, and hostile state interference. Why is this happening? Because Trump's tariff regime has made it more expensive to build weapons in America. With retaliatory tariffs from China and Europe, Boeing's global contracts are being pulled. The company can't afford to stay put, even if national security is on the line. This isn't just outsourcing. It's disarmament by economic force. And now, reports suggest Boeing is quietly negotiating a shift of some component production to Southeast Asia, including electronics that power defense systems. Let that sink in. Sensitive U.S. military parts built outside the U.S., thanks to Trump's economic isolationism. So here's the question. If Boeing can't afford to build America's planes in America, who will? And if the answer is no one, then maybe Trump didn't just kill American manufacturing. Maybe he's dismantling American defense. Number 4. For Wall Street cracks, allies back away. The market didn't blink. It panicked. The moment Boeing announced mass job cuts and factory shutdowns, its stock swung violently, triggering red alerts across Wall Street. But this wasn't just investor fear. It was a loss of faith in the U.S. itself. Analysts from J.P. Morgan and BlackRock now warn that Trump's tariff policies have turned America into a high-risk zone for global capital. And Boeing's pullback? It's being treated like a canary in the coal mine. But here's what's more disturbing. Foreign governments are taking notes and stepping back. France has begun reassessing its defense procurement contracts with Boeing. Japan is reportedly diverting satellite negotiations to European firms. Because America's industrial base is no longer seen as stable or predictable. And it all points back to Trump's unilateral trade war. Trump thought he could bully the world with tariffs. Instead, he pushed America's largest exporter into crisis, scared away global buyers, and destabilized the very financial system he claimed to strengthen. Even the IMF weighed in, warning that U.S. protectionism is eroding global economic confidence faster than any single conflict in the past decade. And the kicker? Foreign competitors like Airbus are now offering deals bundled with tax incentives and diplomatic stability. They're not just winning contracts, they're stealing Boeing's future. So now the question is, if Boeing is no longer the face of American industry, who is? And more importantly, does the world even care anymore? Number 3. The silent leak Boeing tried to bury. While the headlines focused on layoffs and stocks, something far more explosive was quietly buried in an internal Boeing memo, and we got our hands on it. According to leaked documents shared with senior engineers, Boeing's executive board had already greenlit plans for international relocation 6 months before Trump's second term began. But because the company anticipated tariffs would escalate out of control. They saw it coming, and Trump didn't care. The memo outlines a phased exit strategy for key production lines, targeting Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe, months before the public announcement. Worse, it states that cost modeling indicates continued domestic production under current policy would result in unsustainable loss margins by Q3 2025. Translation? Trump's economic plan made Boeing's U.S. operations financially suicidal. And here's the real twist. Several executives reportedly pleaded with Trump officials to reconsider the tariff framework during private meetings in early 2024. Their concerns? Ignored. Their warnings? Dismissed. Now those same executives are overseeing what one insider calls an emergency evacuation of American manufacturing. And the press? Silent. No one's talking about the fact that Boeing knew this collapse was coming and tried to warn the administration. So now the real question isn't why did Boeing leave? It's why didn't Trump stop it when he had the chance? And worse, what other companies are already planning to do the same behind closed doors? Number 2, global retaliation is already crippling U.S. supply chains. Trump wanted a trade war. Now America is losing it. In response to Trump's escalating tariffs, especially on metals, electronics, and aerospace parts, China, the EU, and even Canada have launched coordinated retaliation. And Boeing? It's their first and most strategic target. Key titanium suppliers in Russia? Cut ties. Lithium battery components from South Korea? Delayed indefinitely. Navigation systems sourced from European defense firms? Now under export review. The result? Boeing's U.S. supply chain has been shattered, making it impossible to fulfill both commercial and defense contracts without major delays or dangerous substitutions. And here's where it gets worse. Foreign governments aren't just retaliating, they're weaponizing contracts. France's aerospace ministry just issued a directive to diversify away from American systems due to political instability. Canada is now lobbying for Airbus exclusivity in North American defense procurement. And the biggest twist? Mexico, once the punching bag of Trump's campaign, just offered Boeing a full tax exemption and infrastructure support package if it moves operations there. A complete geopolitical reversal. Meanwhile, U.S. subcontractors, small, specialized firms in Kansas, Texas, and Alabama, are being cut off, collapsing quietly because Boeing's foreign shift leaves them with zero demand. So when Trump said, America will no longer be taken advantage of, he forgot to mention this. The world can retaliate, and they just did. And now we're asking, did Trump underestimate the world, or just overestimate America's leverage? Number 1, the workers left behind. In cities like Everett, St. Louis, and Charleston, thousands of workers just watched their futures vanish overnight. Not because of a pandemic. Not because of foreign sabotage, but because of Trump's own policy choices. These aren't nameless numbers. They're fathers, veterans, machinists, single moms, people who built Boeing's legacy with their bare hands. And now, they're being told their jobs are too expensive for America to keep. Jack Raymond, a 28-year veteran at Boeing's Missouri plant, broke down on live radio. He said, "They told us we were the backbone of the company. Now they're saying we cost too much to exist." The betrayal runs deep. These communities voted for Trump, believing his promise to bring jobs home. Instead, they got pink slips and silence from the top. Even labor unions, usually slow to confront the White House, are now openly accusing the administration of economic sabotage. And Boeing's leadership? They're flying out literally. Worse still, the skill sets being lost aren't easily replaced. These aren't gig jobs, they're aerospace-level trades, built over decades, passed from one generation to the next. With the factories shuttered, schools are canceling STEM apprentice programs. Trade colleges are pulling Boeing internships. Entire career pipelines are collapsing in real time. So let's stop pretending this is just economics. This is cultural erasure. And now the only question that matters is, are you still on Trump's side, or do you stand with the men and women he just abandoned? Final thought. Boeing's retreat is more than a corporate failure. It's a flashing red warning light for America's future. Trump promised to protect American jobs. Instead, his tariffs triggered a chain reaction, alienating allies, crippling supply chains, and pushing even our most iconic manufacturer to flee. This isn't just one company leaving. It's the unraveling of U.S. industrial leadership. And if Boeing, armed with contracts, cash, and history, can't survive in Trump's America, what hope is left for smaller manufacturers, union labor, or American-made anything? So ask yourself, is this what America First looks like? Or is it the end of Made in USA? Comment below. Which company do you think will collapse next under Trump's economic agenda? And don't forget to subscribe, because what's coming next could hit even harder.